Various laws and the dedication of the Levites. Chapter 5. People are sent outside the camp. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, "Put out of the camp everyone who has leprosy or a bodily discharge or who has touched a dead body. Now that I live among my people, their camp must be kept clean." The Israelites obeyed the Lord's instructions. The penalty for committing a crime. This is also told in Leviticus 6 1-7. The Lord told Moses to say to the community of Israel, "If any of you commit a crime against someone, you have sinned against me. You must confess your guilt and pay the victim in full for whatever damage has been done, plus a fine of 20%. If the victim has no relative who can accept this money, it belongs to me and will be paid to the priest. In addition to that payment, you must take a ram for the priest to sacrifice so your sin will be forgiven. When you make a donation to the sacred tent, that money belongs only to the priest, and each priest will keep what is given to him." A suspicious husband. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, "Suppose a man becomes jealous and suspects that his wife has been unfaithful, but he has no proof. He must take his wife to the priest together with 1 kilogram of ground barley as an offering to find out if she is guilty. No olive oil or incense is to be put on that offering. The priest is to make the woman stand at my altar, where he will pour sacred water into a clay jar and stir in some dust from the floor of the sacred tent. Next, he will remove her veil, then hand her the barley offering and say, 'If you have been faithful to your husband, this water won't harm you. But if you have been unfaithful, it will bring down the Lord's curse. You will never be able to give birth to a child, and everyone will curse your name.' Then the woman will answer, 'If I am guilty, let it happen just as you say.' The priest will write these curses on special paper and wash them off into the bitter water, so that when the woman drinks this water, the curses will enter her body. He will take the barley offering from her and lift it up in dedication to me, the Lord. Then he will place it on my altar and burn part of it as a sacrifice. After that, the woman must drink the bitter water. If the woman has been unfaithful, the water will immediately make her unable to have children, and she will be a curse among her people. But if she is innocent, her body will not be harmed, and she will still be able to have children. This is the ceremony that must take place at my altar when a husband suspects that his wife has been unfaithful. The priest must make the woman stand in my presence and carefully follow these instructions. If the husband is wrong, he will not be punished, but if his wife is guilty, she will be punished. Chapter 6. Rules for Nazarites. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, "If any of you want to dedicate yourself to me by vowing to become a Nazarite, you must no longer drink any wine or beer or use any kind of vinegar. Don't drink grape juice or eat grapes or raisins, not even the seeds or skins. Even the hair of a Nazarite is sacred to me, and as long as you are a Nazarite, you must never cut your hair. During the time that you are a Nazarite, you must never go close to a dead body, not even that of your father, mother, brother, or sister. That would make you unclean. Your hair is the sign that you are dedicated to me, so remain holy. If someone suddenly dies near you, your hair is no longer sacred, and you must shave it 7 days later during the ceremony to make you clean. Then on the next day, bring 2 doves or 2 pigeons to the priest at the sacred tent. He will offer one of the birds as a sacrifice for sin and the other as a sacrifice to please me. You will then be forgiven for being too near a dead body, and your hair will again become sacred. But the dead body made you unacceptable, so you must make another vow to become a Nazirite and be dedicated once more. Finally, a year-old ram must be offered as the sacrifice to make things right. When you have completed your promised time of being a Nazirite, go to the sacred tent and offer 3 animals that have nothing wrong with them: a year-old ram as a sacrifice to please me, a year-old female lamb as a sacrifice for sin, and a full-grown ram as a sacrifice to ask my blessing. Wine offerings and grain sacrifices must also be brought with these animals. Finally, you are to bring a basket of bread made with your finest flour and olive oil, but without yeast. Also bring some thin wafers brushed with oil. The priest will take these gifts to my altar and offer them, so that I will be pleased and will forgive you. Then he will sacrifice the ram and offer the wine, grain, and bread. After that, you will stand at the entrance to the sacred tent. Shave your head and put the hair in the fire where the priest has offered the sacrifice to ask my blessing. Once the meat from the ram's shoulder has been boiled, the priest will take it along with 1 loaf of bread and 1 wafer brushed with oil and give them to you. You will hand them back to the priest, who will lift them up in dedication to me. Then he can eat the meat from the ram's shoulder, its choice ribs, and its hind leg, because this is his share of the sacrifice. After this, you will no longer be Nazirite and will be free to drink wine. These are the requirements for Nazirites. However, if you can afford to offer more, you must do so. The blessing for the people. The Lord told Moses, when Aaron and his sons bless the people of Israel, they must say, I pray that the Lord will bless and protect you, and that he will show you mercy and kindness. May the Lord be good to you and give you peace. Then the Lord said, if Aaron and his sons ask me to bless the Israelites, I will give them my blessing. Chapter 7. The leaders bring gifts to the sacred tent. When Moses had finished setting up the sacred tent, he dedicated it to the Lord, for together with its furnishings, the altar, and its equipment. Then the 12 tribal leaders of Israel, the same men who had been in charge of counting the people, came to the tent with the gifts for the Lord. They brought 6 strong carts and 12 oxen, 1 ox from each leader, and a cart from every 2. The Lord said to Moses, accept these gifts so the Levites can use them here at the sacred tent for carrying the sacred things. Then Moses took the carts and oxen and gave them to the Levites, who were under the leadership of Ithamar, son of Aaron. Moses gave 2 carts and 4 oxen to the Gershonites for their work, and 4 carts and 8 oxen to the Merarites for their work. But Moses did not give any to the Kohathites, because they were in charge of the sacred objects that had to be carried on their shoulders. On the day the altar was dedicated, the 12 leaders brought offerings for its dedication. The Lord said to Moses, each day 1 leader is to give his offering for the dedication. So each leader brought the following gifts: a silver bowl that weighed 1.5 kilograms, and a silver sprinkling bowl weighing almost a kilogram, both of them filled with flour and olive oil as grain sacrifices and weighed according to the official standards. A small gold dish filled with incense, a young bull, a full-grown ram, and a year-old ram as sacrifices to please the Lord, a goat as a sacrifice for sin, and 2 bulls, 5 full-grown rams, 5 goats, and 5 rams a year old as sacrifices to ask the Lord's blessing. The tribal leaders brought their gifts and offerings in the following order. On the first day, Nahshon from Judah. On the second day, Nathanael from Issachar. On the third day, Eliab from Zebulun. On the fourth day, Elizur from Reuben. On the fifth day, Shelumiel from Simeon. On the sixth day, Eliashab from Gad. On the seventh day, Elishama from Ephraim. And the 8th day, Gamaliel from Manasseh. On the 9th day, Abidan from Benjamin. On the 10th day, Ahiezer from Dan. On the 11th day, Pagiel from Asher. On the 12th day, Ahira from Naphtali. And so when the altar was dedicated to the Lord, these 12 leaders brought the following gifts: 12 silver bowls and 12 silver sprinkling bowls, weighing a total of almost 28 kilograms, according to the official standards. 12 gold dishes filled with incense and weighing over a kilogram. 12 bulls, 12 full-grown rams, and 12 rams a year old as sacrifices to please the Lord, along with the proper grain sacrifices. 12 goats as sacrifices for sin, and 24 bulls, 60 full-grown rams, 60 goats, and 60 rams a year old as sacrifices to ask the Lord's blessing. Whoever Moses needed to talk with the Lord, he went into the sacred tent, where he heard the Lord's voice coming from between the two winged creatures above the lid of the sacred chest. Chapter 8. Aaron puts the gold lamps in place. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron to put the 7 lamps on the lampstands so they shine towards the front." Aaron obeyed and placed the lamps as he was told. The lampstand was made of hammered gold from its base to the decorative flowers on top, exactly like the pattern the Lord had described to Moses. Instructions for ordaining the Levites. The Lord said to Moses, "The Levites must be acceptable to me before they begin working at the sacred tent. So separate them from the rest of the Israelites and sprinkle them with the water that washes away their sins. Then tell them to shave their entire bodies and wash their clothes. They are to bring a bull and its proper grain sacrifice of flour mixed with olive oil. And they must bring a second bull as a sacrifice for sin. Then you, Moses, will call together all the people of Israel and make the Levites go to my sacred tent, where the people will place their hands on them. Aaron will present the Levites to me as a gift from the people, so that the Levites will do my work. After this, the Levites are to place their hands on the heads of the bulls. Then one of the bulls will be sacrificed for the forgiveness of sin, and the other to make sure that I am pleased. The Levites will stand at my altar in front of Aaron and his sons, who will then dedicate the Levites to me. This ceremony will show that the Levites are different from the other Israelites and belong to me in a special way. After they have been made acceptable and have been dedicated, they will be allowed to work at my sacred tent. They are mine and will take the place of the firstborn Israelite sons. When I killed the eldest sons of the Egyptians, I decided that the firstborn sons in each Israelite family would be mine, as well as every firstborn male from their flocks and herds. But now I have chosen these Levites as substitutes for the firstborn sons, and I have given them as gifts to Aaron and his sons to serve at the sacred tent. I will hold them responsible for what happens to anyone who gets too close to the sacred tent. The Levites are dedicated to the Lord. Moses, Aaron, and the other Israelites made sure that the Levites did everything the Lord had commanded. The Levites sprinkled themselves with the water of forgiveness and washed their clothes. Then Aaron brought them to the altar and offered sacrifices to forgive their sins and make them acceptable to the Lord. After this, the Levites worked at the sacred tent as assistants to Aaron and his sons, just as the Lord had commanded. The Lord also told Moses, "Levites who are between the ages of 25 and 50 can work at my sacred tent, but once they turn 50, they must retire. They may help the other Levites in their duties, but they must no longer be responsible for any work themselves. Remember this when you assign their duties."